In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to What's the Dillies podcast. What's the Dillies podcast is a podcast I created to bring the dance community closer together by bringing you behind the scenes and into the minds of my favorite dancers in hopes that it can help you on your dance journey and maybe can help you in your life too. Sweet. So for today's guest, we have a very special lady to my right, representing Projekt team, 2.5 Brownies, Lighthouse fams, RUR Alliance. Yep. She's an educator. She's a creative. She's also fun fact I'll say for later. But for today's guest, we have the lovely Seidah Tuaoi / Kirati joining us today.
Yo.
Woo. Sweet.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. We've been wanting to have you on for a while now.
After all your guests that you've had?
Oh, yo.
Nah.
Cause bro, I didn't know you were moving until your birthday. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. So, Seidah just turned 30 years old.
Woohoo!
Dirty 30.
Dirty.
Yo, you're funny, bro.
I'm not.
See, okay, Seidah, quick question. You
Yes.
just turned 30 years old.
Yep.
What's one thing that you realize the more you get older? Like, you keep realizing the more you get older.
Oh, I think the importance of time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and quality time with the ones that you love. Yeah, that was pretty deep, But
Oh, yo.
yeah, after 30 years, that's the one thing I've learned.
Do you feel like you've that you haven't spent enough time, or was it just?
I just think I think when I was counting down the days for when I leave Auckland, I just found that I didn't spend enough quality time with those that I loved, and so especially with my family who don't get to see me as much, even though we live in the same house.
Yeah.
They complain because they never see me because I'm doing other stuff like dance things or work. And so, I think it was just a good reminder for me to actually spend quality. It's the quality rather than, how much time you spend. Yeah.
And for Seidah's 30th birthday, there was a surprise party thrown for Seidah, and at the party there was a few speeches done by Seidah's family, and reoccurring topic that always came up was, I can say it
Was
word
it humble?
for word.
Humility?
Oh,
Loving?
yo!
Kindness.
Wow!
Great dancer, great mentor. Yeah, I'll say it.
Yeah, are we talking about you?
Huh? Oh, what?
So a reoccurring topic that always came up was I can say it word for word, okay? Pretend I'm Seidah's dad. Seidah, you're 30 years old now. Still no boyfriend. Oh!
Yeah, that's my dad, guys.
Nah.
I'm available, guys.
Oh, yo.
So, is this where you find out on What's the Dillies? I'm available. I'm here for it. Kidding.
This ain't
I'm
The
kidding.
Bachelor, bro. This ain't The Bachelor, cuz.
Kidding. Thanks for having me, Andy.
Yo, thanks for coming
Yo,
on.
that's the end of our interview.
So, a quick story about Seidah. So this was so a lot of people know Seidah as maybe like a really mean-ass dancer, a really mean-ass creative. She's awesome at all those things, but something that you might not know about Seidah is a fun little story I just want to share. Seidah's, she's a bit racist, and I feel like that's something that we don't get to see. But
Where's the facts?
the first time I have someone that can fact check this as well. The first time I met Seidah was at Manurewa High School. I think she was visiting Mele at the time, and
The other racist culprit.
yeah. So I was with my best friend Tommy, who's also Asian, right? And as I was talking to Seidah, Seidah called me Tommy, and she called Tommy Andy, and which is funny because we don't look the same at all. We don't sound the same. We don't look the same. But do you only see color? Or?
I think the same skill ability. So
Compliment.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Also another term that you might know Seidah by is demon pops.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a word.
It's called Heavenly Pops now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I changed it after my birthday when I saw everyone doing it, so...
Yeah. That's me. That actually sounds way cool.
Heavenly Pops?
Yeah, Heavenly
Yeah,
Pops.
it's a bit more inviting, eh?
Yeah, that's
Than
me.
demon. But yeah. Does everyone know how I got this name, or...?
No, share it.
Oh, share it? Okay.
Yeah.
One of my battles in, I think, 2015 or 16, I did a move in one of my battles. At the time, before the battle, I was like, oh, I wonder if it would be cool if I did a pop with my back bent backwards. I didn't do it at all. I didn't practice it or train it. I just thought in my head. And then when it came to the time to battle, I was like, oh, it's coming up to that time and that point of the music. I'm going to try it. And then, yeah, it turned out good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that name stuck with me for a bit now. So
Yeah.
I've changed it to Heavenly Pops for those that call me Demon Pops. So thank you.
That's more inviting. That's more kind.
It's a bit more nicer.
She's not in that demon phase anymore.
Times have changed now.
No, she's
After
all
COVID.
About...
Post-COVID.
So let's rewind back before Demon Pops even started.
Yep.
Where did your journey in dance begin, Seidah?
Oh.
Yeah. What inspired you to get into it? Where did it start, you know?
Yeah. It came from when I was younger. My grandparents used to put me and my cousins in the sitting room and tell us, or actually force us to perform in front of them as items.
Force.
And so, gently persuade. Gently persuade. No. And so ever since then, performing was always instilled in us children, and my parents were into pop culture as well, so Michael Jackson and Earth, Wind and Fire and just different kinds of music was playing, or I used to watch the music videos.
Did your parents dance as well?
No, but
Really?
they like social dancing.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Her dad sassed me up at their birthday, yeah. So her dad did a video of it on the Projekt Instagram where he just sasses me up and he takes my keys as well and he just throws them at me. I'm like, oh.
You know, a funny fact was when they were planning my birthday, my uncle and my dad were sending each other battle videos.
Hey.
Yeah, and they wanted to battle Projekt team that night. And so
that's cool. That's cool as.
I was like, whoa. And they were like, yeah, we kind of initiated the battle because we've been planning it for that week. And so I was like, oh, snap.
Bro, your family's cool as, bro. My family would never do that. That's awesome.
They're willing to look like a fool in front of people.
Yo,
so
that's dope.
that's like me too, so yeah. Funny times.
So your parents were into pop culture?
Pop culture and so Michael Jackson, his music and his dancing was a huge part of my upbringing, and my uncle from Wellington called Richie Karate was also part of a dance crew called Legacy from Wellington. They also went to the World Hip Hop Champs back in the time where Desire was prominent. And they went at the same time, And so, they were one of the first Wellington crews to go overseas to compete. And, he used to teach me just little sets and show me some of his performance gigs. And I was quite inspired by that. And so with all of that happening when I was young, I wanted to, perform and pursue it as a career. And also my dad, because he's a minister too. And so every time he used to teach or preach at different events, he used to get me to perform after his sermon.
How old were you when you were doing this?
I think I was maybe 10.
Damn.
Yeah,
were
10.
You nervous? Or were you just used to it? Like,
I was used to my dad putting me in the deep end.
Oh, gee.
But I always used to cry because I hated putting myself out there.
Did you cry like during or like before or after?
After.
Oh,
Yeah.
after. Wow.
So I'm traumatized, really.
So, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, I think with that, and my parents saw that I really,
Right, that's it.
my parents pushed me in that area because they could see I was doing well and performing and dance, and music came later. Music came with my other cousins, Tupu, Dea, and Josh. And so, yeah, all of that mixed in with church, my parents really pushed me to go and further my career and studies at Auckland Uni.
Yeah.
And so, I got introduced by Trey, a dancer called Trey, who took me to one of the performances at University of Auckland.
Yeah.
And so I think I was fifth form. And so from there, I set my goal after completing high school to go to Auckland Uni.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you Oh yeah, no, I'll say it after. After. So Auckland Uni, what happened then?
Yep. I completed my bachelor's at the University of Dance, and I think in my first year I met Josh and Kat just passing by. And
Were you in the same year or?
no, they were in their third. I think Josh and Mele were in their third and final year.
Wow.
And I was in my first year. And so my class wasn't really, what do you call it? It was a big class, but I didn't feel like I was home in my class. Yeah. Or safe enough to just explore dance in that first year. But Josh and Kat invited me to a jam. And they were like, oh, just come. Our crew's called Hopscotch, and we usually do jams and events for, B-boys at that time. Yeah. And so I went to jam with them, and it was really cool, and they were real inviting and inclusive, and there were other people at the same time that started in the crew. And so, yeah, from there, we got put into the crew, but it was originally a B-boy dance crew, Hopscotch. And then when they added the girls, like me, Mele, and this other girl called Pauline, it became more of a choreography-based crew.
Was that at the time when choreography was like popping off as well? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so different crews like Nameless. I don't know if you've heard of them. Oh, yeah, Nameless, and Prestige was quite big then.
True.
They were quite prominent in the scene at the time. And so, yeah, that was Hopscotch. And then even with, I think joining Hopscotch was an introduction to the dance scene for me. And so I was totally against dance crews, and because I was a freestyler, I liked freestyling and dancing on my own and doing my own thing. I thought before being in a crew, you had to conform to doing unison and doing everything as a crew, and but no, Josh and Kat really changed my perception of that with their knowledge and their leadership and the way they communicated their ideas on stage. That really changed, I think, my mindset for dance crews. University really changed, I think, the trajectory
Nice.
of dance for me. I got to travel a lot during those times to Japan, China, the States as well, because Hopscotch went to Worlds as well. And from there, one of the main things about Hopscotch was community and people.
Yeah.
And so I think you can see that through Projekt team as well, that it's always been about people. But I think it stemmed from Hopscotch times. Yeah. And it was never about anyone's ability to dance. It was always about were they cool to jam with? Were they like a good person?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can't work with like people that can't gel with you, and so that was the main thing for hopscotch. And so you can see in any performance on YouTube with hopscotch the different skill abilities. Like we're not all the same, but it was always the times of workshopping and creating and good times.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I always wonder too, because like, have you ever worked with someone that's like, they look really good, but then they just don't work like well together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Always.
That's weird, bro. Like
Always.
sometimes you expect someone to be like really mean to like, because they might be similar to you, or like you think, oh yeah, this style would match with mine.
Yeah.
But then like you just don't gel, and then it's like that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's the chemistry, eh?
Yeah, bro.
And it's a huge thing. Like I know when people want to ask you to battle with you because they look really good.
That's actually harder.
Yeah. But then when you actually work with them, workshop with them, and you have the pressure of time,
Yeah.
the real person comes out.
Yeah.
And like, but it's learning how to work around that and finding the good things with people as well. And so it's always a people game, I think, for me. It's like, okay, you're hard to work with.
Yeah.
So how can we make this process a bit better? Yeah, it's always about the process, eh?
Do you want to know something like okay, so this is like a fact that I don't think like anybody knows back in the day, but my first ever win in a battle was with you. Do you remember when we did Biggie and Small?
Oh!
Yeah, do you remember?
You're the smallie!
Yo, so there was like a Projekt event way back in the day, like the events that we did like at the very beginning, I don't think anybody remembers like most of them. But there was like an event called Biggie and Smalls where the bigger members of
my
Projekt
gosh.
take on like a smaller person or like someone that's not as experienced, and they battle together.
Yeah.
And that was my first ever time like just winning an event. That was cool.
I remember that now. The memory's like rushing back now.
Yo.
But I knew this guy was killer at breaking and just doing everything on the floor. So I was like, yo, let's use that. Whoa,
And
that's
something-
dope.
Okay, I gotta ask you something as well, bro. Because like you know how you said like in UOA you didn't feel like you said you didn't feel like you were like safe to explore it.
Yeah.
Or like you didn't feel like, because I was fought for you because you're like, because I know how you are now,
Yep.
and I just think because where we're at now in the dance scene, dance is more like, at least the dance that we do,
Yep.
there's a lot more like there's just a lot more people doing it, and it's a lot more accepted.
Yeah.
But I think like back in the day, like how was it like, did you find yourself fitting in with the scene, or like
Yeah.
or...
It was quite hard for me because I feel like I didn't know anyone in dance, and I didn't have much self-worth at the time. And so at that time I was like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Even though my friends are leaving the program and the class is getting smaller, like, should I stay? And so I had to make sure I had a bigger like vision, I think, for dance. And that's what I've always kept, I think, from there, is always seeing the bigger picture and things. And so when times get tough, when people leave, it's like questioning, I think, the purpose and the vision behind it. And I've realized that it's never always about dance, it's always about relationships and people. And so, it's holding on to that, because the dance can come later. That's what I've learned with hopscotch as well, is dance can come later. Like, you can gain skill, but with people, it's like the thing that's going to keep you going.
Okay, and like in uni, right?
Yeah.
Because here's something that because when I was like 18 and figuring out like, oh, what path should I take? Should I go to uni for dance, or should I do something else? Like, what's something that you can get from like going to uni for dance that you can't get without it?
Oh.
Yeah. Or what do you think's like kind of like underrated for, because I feel like some people when they think about going to uni for dance, they're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like maybe
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
need it for a career, or
Yeah.
like they kind of think along those lines,
Yeah.
or they don't want to kind of like your feeling with being a freestyler conforming to,
Yeah.
because like we're so used to just doing our own thing and doing what we like, conforming to something
Yeah.
else. So what do you think is something that like is underrated or maybe overlooked that you can gain from going to uni for dance that
Yeah.
people don't think about?
I think it's exposure to dance as a whole. Because I think on the outside, you might think that going to UOA dance, you just do contemporary dance.
Yeah.
But you're actually exposed to different dance styles, communities, different ways people learn. And we had to work with people with disabilities as well, like doing dance with, unabled bodies, and dance in schools, dance in smaller towns compared to bigger towns. So it's a whole array of things that I think people don't see. And it just opens your mind, with where you can take dance. And that's the reason why I've continued to work on my project for Popping Pulatasi. And that's where it all started, was because I felt that I didn't have any self-worth, or like I had like some issues with my identity because I was half caste. And at the time I was at Auckland Uni, I was like, man, I don't feel at home. And that's because I didn't feel at home with my cultures. And so Auckland Uni gave me that platform to discover and explore that side of my life, which is quite a slap in the face, because it's like, oh man, I thought I was this.
Yeah.
But I like doing hip hop. But I'm like a PI person. And so, yeah, it just gave me confidence to mesh both cultures and try it in a space that's kind of like neutral at Auckland Uni. Yeah. And yeah, from there, I've been able to just work on it and work on myself and how I view myself. And so, yeah, I think I'm really grateful for those times that I was a bit lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was real, like, more exploring and, yeah,
That's
self-work.
That's such a good way of like answering. Oh, it's weird because like when you say it like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, maybe I should have gone to uni for dance.
That's a UOA plug right there, eh?
Yeesh.
Yo,
Shall say
go to it.
Ambassador.
Yo, spend all your money there.
Oh,
Nah.
oh, true.
I'm in debt now, guys. Nah, jokes. It's worth it. Go there.
Nice. Okay. Also, so, with your latest work,
Yes.
me and Seidah. Oh wow, Seidah was directing a show that was gonna, with Projekt team, we were gonna do a show called Koal, which was exploring cultural identity. And I know during that process, I was like, man, like, I have no idea who I am, like, culturally, because, like, coming here, I'm just so used to, like, there's not really many Asians in Southside, I feel like. So I was like, But I know during that process, I was kind of, like, in the back of my head, I was like, man, I wish Seidah would perform a piece as well. But then I realized you're already doing your own, like, pieces exploring your cultural identity, which was Fa'atino and Popping Pulatasi. So, like, for the people who have just... well, actually, I feel like most people would know you for that recent work. But for the people who haven't, what was the inspiration behind those pieces? And you can find those pieces on Seidah's Instagram. If you go to her highlights and then maybe her YouTube as well, you can find that.
Yo, plug.
Yeah, I like you.
The inspiration behind
Yeah.
Fa'atino
Yeah.
and Floors. Yeah. So, yeah, it was during those times back at Auckland Uni where we had to dance in a setting. So it's called site-specific dance, where you create a dance in a particular setting.
Like what?
Like it could be outside behind behind the house or under a tree or and you kind of base your dance on that setting. And I think for me, I wanted to base my dance on my grandma at the time. And so I saw a picture of her on a windowsill.
Yeah.
And so I went to KMC, which is the dance studio for Auckland Uni. And I chose a windowsill and I stood by it and just danced in my pulatasi. But I was doing popping. Yeah. And so from there, I think I looked at, because I love popping as a dance style.
Yeah.
And I loved my culture and my family who represented the pulatasi. I wanted to mesh it together. And so from there, it's been a 10-year journey of just learning how to fuse both styles.
Yeah.
And it's been hard because I am not really in a particular style. I just love both styles.
Yeah.
And I know like some foundation of both. So it's always been a tug of war, kind of like, am I a popper or am I more Samoan than this? So it's been a long journey, workshopping and experimenting, but I think I'm at a time now where I'm a bit more confident in both identities, to try. And I'm also wary about elders and I guess my family as well, because I'm representing them. So I'm making sure that it looks, is it okay? Is it appropriate? Is it, too weird to release? Or so yeah. And that's with popping too. Like I'm always like asking people, is this representing popping as a style properly? And I don't want to step on anyone's toes as well. So yeah.
So like when you make these pieces, right?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of work goes into it, a lot of production. Because like that's a full on concept video from like start to finish. And I want to ask, bro, like, so what's in your head, right? Going from like the initial idea in your head of the piece, like what's the end hope for like when you release it?
The end hope.
Yeah, like do you just release it to release it, or is there like a purpose? Is there like a purpose behind it, or is it just your own journey, or like what goes on in your head when you do these?
Oh, I always try to include people in my vision, and I think when I include others, it's more like they're on the journey with me to find who they are as well.
Oh, that's dope.
And so I know with Flaws, I really wanted to collaborate with Untucked Films or Alex Page because I knew she was half Samoan, and so I knew she would benefit from the process too. Even though I haven't worked with her, but I've seen her stuff online, I was like, oh no, this could be a cool opportunity for her to learn about herself. And I think with those different processes in mind, that's my goal, is to get people on board and be like, yo, we don't have to do what I want to do. This is like, we're all kind of journeying together to find something or impact someone that's kind of going through the same thing or struggle of their identity as well. And so, it's like a people thing, but it's also how am I going to impact those that watch this online, and how is it going to serve their self-worth and their own identity as a New Zealand born Samoan or Malaysian or European.
Bro, that's so cool. I like the way you wrote it, or like not the way you wrote it, but I like the way you think about it, how it's everybody's on a journey together. Because that's how, when you said that, I clicked straight away, because that's how I felt with Koal when we were all like making things, because it wasn't like, even though so Seidah and Josh were the directors for Koal, even though they were the directors, like it didn't feel like I was conforming to you, or like it didn't feel like we had to do your vision.
Yeah.
It was like every member of the crew was on their own like journey of figuring out who they were culturally and how to show that. And like it was just crazy. Like some people were in like the spectrum of like of journeys we were on, like where we were at. Some people knew who they were, some people were like still figuring it out.
Yeah.
But there were like so many different ways of expressing it.
Yeah.
And it's such a like bro, I really wish that show came out there.
Yeah. It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come. But the way you wrote it, where everybody's on the journey together, that's how I felt as well. Because even though we were working side by side, and we were doing complete different pieces, but it didn't feel like I was like separated from anybody at all. Like we were all like going together on this journey, even though we were doing our separate things. It's such a dope feeling.
It was a super dope process because I got to know how you guys work differently and the way you perceive yourself, and especially with your piece, like I think me and Josh could see.
I hated my piece there.
Honest too.
Yeah, I actually did.
Your piece was so dope.
Yeah, I'm changing it.
No, don't.
No, I'm changing it.
I dare you to not.
I just
as choreographer.
Bro, I just can't. Like, I think maybe the music I'll change, but the concept, like, I'll keep the concept the same, but I think I want to do it differently.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could do, after seeing everybody else's at the last showing we had, I saw everybody else's and I was like, bro, I was mad at it because everybody was so good, bro. And I was like, man, I need to do something like way better than this.
I think with your piece, it highlights the way you think, and it's very structured, and I love that way because it's all you. And I think if you change it, you'll be suiting other people's needs. But honestly, it's awesome. Don't change it. As a creative director, I ask you not to change. Don't change it.
I'll show you the idea. I'll show you the idea I have this year for it.
Yeah.
Because I've already started like drafting it.
Oh, sweet.
There. Yeah. I think it looks pretty dope, but I'll show you later.
Ooh. Come to our show.
Yeah.
Go out.
We don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming.
Yeah. Keep your eyes out on what's the Dillies. It'll come.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a dope process. I really loved it, and I love learning alongside Josh as well because he's such a creative person. And so I'll have an idea, but then he'll have 10 ways of looking at that idea, and it's like, oh, the options are endless. And his creativity is quite limitless. And so yeah, and just working with Projekt team, they're so dope. Like the dancers are so creative, and just the way their pieces were fleshed out and developed. I'm excited to put that out on a platform so that everyone else can see.
Yeah. It's so dope seeing like us in a different light. Because we're dope at what we do, but then also when we do new things, it's like it still translates over. Like our dopeness still like translates over. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, which one was your favorite piece?
Oh,
yeah.
That's a naughty thing to ask.
What naughty? Oh,
all of the pieces are dope. I actually cried after watching Mele's piece because it was one of the last pieces, and I was like, oh, a bit overwhelmed.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yo. Actually, bro, that was crazy.
I was a bit overwhelmed. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we got that call about COVID.
Yo.
Lockdown number 2.
That was.
But yeah, make sure you come watch it.
Nah, just be honest. Which one was your favorite?
Eh?
Which one was your favorite?
If I say yours, will you give me $20
nah,
after
nah,
this?
Nah.
Nah, all of them were dope.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Nah, it's hard to pick a favorite now that I think about it. But Mele's one did make me cry too.
Yeah.
Because like I've always seen Mele in that teacher light where she's always taken a step back to help others.
Yeah.
But seeing her create for herself was like,
yeah.
Whoa, I was like, damn, you can actually like, you're crazy. But I forget that sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Like you forget it because you take such a step back and you're like, whoa, bro, like you're good.
Me and Mele started the hopscotch train. So we started kind of the same time, and so because she's so helpful and selfless and always for the community. She rarely has time to do her own creative stuff, and so it was just dope to see her flourish in that kind of and ko'au. And but also I know she's like killer anyway, and so she pulls out the best stuff in battles, like last minute. She won't train it, but then it'll come out in a battle, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right, you're a battler too. But yeah, she's a killer, man, creative killer. We started at the same time, and we always have this joke where because she's the locker and then I'm the popper.
Oh, poplar?
Yeah.
Gee, that's
But she's learned popping the same time as me.
Yeah.
But sometimes she's like, oh man, I've been learning 10 years and I'm still like not as good.
Well, isn't that because she puts her eggs into the locking basket instead?
Yeah, locking, and
I was like, no one
she's
can...
actually a breaker too, so
Yeah. That not many people know that,
Yeah.
But she actually can break a bit.
breaker, Pacific, everything. Yeah. I'm just popping.
Nah, you're like... you're pretty up there. I love watching you dance, because like you're just entertaining, bro. Like that's the biggest thing when I watch you dance is I always feel like joy.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. That's a great encouragement.
Oh, you're welcome, bro.
Might get back into battling after that.
But ever since like the first time I saw you dance, and like even nowadays, bro, like I always feel like joy when I watch you, because you just know how to like entertain, but then also like you're just so funny, bro. Like how you choose, like how you think and how you choose to do things in battles, I'd always be like, oh, I never think of like doing that, or like I never try to roast him like that, or like I never try to like what goes in your mind when you battle? Like when you battle, what goes in your mind? Because sometimes I look at you, I'm like, gee, fuck, that was crazy. But then like, how did you think about that?
I don't know. I think it's from my personality. I just because I like to mock people, and sometimes I think of the most weirdest things, or laugh at little things, and so I think that's translated into my battle kind of tactics, and I've used that against people, which is quite funny. But I've had a lot of battles that have not been so great because of my humor. So yeah, like I'm just gonna tell you my first battle, which was with Mele and a girl called Pauline who was in hopscotch. Josh and Kat, I don't know why, but they put us in a breaking battle against these awesome breakers. And so it was a 3-on-3. And so Mele like bailed her baby freeze and stuff. That was the only thing I got good. But one of my rounds, I went out and I started doing the 6-step, the 3-step. And then I just went into this position with my hands on the ground and my feet on the ground. And I like started humping the air. I don't know why. I don't know why. I thought it was funny. But I just ended up doing it, and I thought it would be funny. But yeah, looking back,
did everybody laugh?
It wasn't good. Yeah.
Oh, did people laugh? Like
Mele, like she like is trying to find the footage right now.
Bro, Mele laughs at everything. You don't even know what's funny with her, bro. She laughs at everything.
Well, all I know is that Josh and Kat were like questioning my position in the crew. So yeah.
Oh, true. Word, that's crazy.
So yeah, those files are like hidden right now. So.
Damn,
thank God.
She finds them, That's funny.
But yeah, I've had a lot of instances where my battles don't go the way I want it to because of my humor. So yeah, it's quite extreme. I can be nice and then I can be just real dumb. So it's like, am I going to be dumb in this round?
What's the ratio? Is it like 50-50 or like 60-40 or like...
Oh, nah, 50-50.
Oh, yo.
Yeah, because sometimes I can hold back. But yeah, when I'm like unfiltered, I can just go the other way. So yeah. Okay. Usually it depends on the song though. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna battle again?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me.
I just took a break from it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for a bit.
Were you just not feeling it? Or just investing time into like other creative projects where you're just like
Yeah, I think with Popping Pulatasi coming out, I really wanted to focus on that.
Yeah.
And I knew with battling, I really love freestyling.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back to that space with just freestyling and loving it again.
Yeah.
And yeah, because with battles, I think I got caught up with events and just too many of it.
Oh, what do you mean?
Or just, I think when you feel like you're expected to perform at a battle event all the time, that's what I had. Yeah, and so I was like, oh, this is unhealthy. So I like pulled back a bit just to focus on other creative projects and freestyling. And so, yeah, I think we all have those times where we draw back a bit just to focus on other things. And so, yeah, I'll be back soon.
Jeez, what a scary. She'll be back.
I'll be back, Heavenly Pops.
Yeah. Oh. That's a mean intro. Oh,
Yep.
I'd love to have that intro. Okay, so let's go back forward now. So you are in RUR Alliance, Raw and Rugged Alliance. What is Raw and Rugged? Is it or no?
No.
No, Raw and Rugged's a different.
Yeah.
That's Australia team, man.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a cake. What's RUR? It's Raw and something, right?
Yep.
Do you know what it is?
No. Sorry, yeah.
Yo.
I do know it, but I don't know it off by heart. But yeah, it's a group led by the amazing Yaya Vankova, who's from the Czech Republic but resides in LA.
So how did you end up in that group?
Yeah. So Knowles and Ken decided to put on a Camp Heights, so a week intensive where people of the community get to learn from dancers overseas. And so they brought over Sherwin, and at the time he was going out with Yaya, who really wanted to come to New Zealand because she loves nature and she loves the country. And
Yeah,
so
she's on that health buzz there.
Yep, 100%.
Why are you laughing to say that?
Oh no, because she loves nature and trees. And,
Yeah.
So yeah, they brought those two over, and I was a huge fan of her, and yeah, I think from there, Knowles got me to be the chauffeur of Sherwin and Yaya in Auckland, and so I just got to drive them everywhere, like from Knowles' place to the Camp Heights venue, which is only 5 minutes away. But yeah, I was just around. I stayed over at Knowles' house as well. And so I was just around asking her a lot of questions. And we also went to Hobbiton and just taking her around, being hospitable.
Wow.
That word again, hospitable.
Nice.
And then, she was judging the Camp Heights battle along with Sherwin and also Zed. And she really enjoyed my dancing, and she said that I had a few battle tactics or some moments reminded her of herself.
Oh.
Yeah, and so one of the things was my costume.
True.
So I wore a full-on suit with a fedora hat.
Yeah.
And so I think that reminded her of just her battle steez and just the way she carries herself.
Why did you choose to wear a suit that day?
Because it was Yaya.
Oh, dude.
Everything was pre-planned, Najix. I think I wanted to present myself really good and just represent my dance styles that I love, which is popping. And so, I wanted that to come through my costuming. And I was just around during that time when she was in New Zealand, and Knowles made it present that, I had to be like, just make sure you soak in everything. And and I think if it wasn't for Knowles bringing her over, I don't think I would have met her. Yeah, in that way. And so, what happened was the last night we were driving, and she didn't want to go to the session, I think, because she was feeling a bit sore or injured. And so I really wanted to ask her how I could get into RUR and be a student and for her to be my mentor. And I was real, because I can get quite nervous, I was driving and I was like, man, how am I going to say this?
Or did you crash the car?
Huh? Oh, nearly.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly.
Because you said you were nervous. I was like, oh, gee, did you crash the car?
So Nah. But yeah, I got a bit nervous and I was just like, oh, how can I be a student under you? Like the amazing Yaya.
Yeah.
And she just laughed at me, like at my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
You
I
can't.
got a bit blushed in the face.
Yeah.
And she was like, I've been waiting for you to ask me this whole time.
Oh, yo, that's tight.
And she was like, I was waiting for you to ask me, but I really want you to be on the team.
Oh,
And I was like, oh.
that's tight, bro.
And the other thing she said was, you're the first person that I've wanted to ask. Other people have asked themselves to be in the group, but you're the first person that I've wanted to approach.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So, yeah, I
that's
think...
my big. That's my big. I'm very small.
So, yeah. And I think Knowles had a kind of bigger plan for me, which was to ask Yaya myself. And so I think, just Yaya really wanted to respect Knowles' wishes because she's my big homie in Auckland. Yeah.
Okay.
And so...
Also, did Yaya already talk to Knowles about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
And so I was like, what was this? And when I was in the car, I was like crashing in my head,
Yeah.
when I was driving now. But yeah, I was pretty stoked at that point, and I feel like that was kind of a highlight in my year 2019. And it was a big shock for me because I had worked a long time to really prove myself in the dance community and to the dance scene, but also to myself. And so, yeah, it was a major blessing, I think, from Knowles, but also Yaya. And it was crack up when she was critiquing my battle rounds as well. She was like, yeah, you use your arms a lot, eh? I was like, oh, yeah. But now it was real cool because she's quite straight up. So, yeah. I'm learning heaps. I'm continuing to learn a lot. And we've been doing a lot of Zoom chats and Zoom calls. And now Kat and Kimmy are part of the team. So it's quite cool to have a New Zealand group representing RUR. Yeah, from New Zealand too. So, yeah. It's a cool journey.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. And we also, when I went to LA to compete at the World Hip Hop Champs, Yaya invited me over to do a few like sessions and just battle sessions, freestyling, and it was just cool to chill with her and her cat, Smokey, drive her car.
Oh, does she have a nice car?
Yeah.
Is it one? Those ones like, oh, no.
Now I was just happy to drive in LA. I was like, yo. No.
Yo.
Nah, real grateful for that opportunity, and just to learn, to keep learning. I think one of the main things that Yaya has told me before I got on my break with battling was to keep curious. Was to always be learning because you never stop learning.
Yeah.
And so, I've really taken that on board and in every aspect, not only just dance and creative stuff. Yeah.
Bro, that's what I find really dope as well. Is like you can talk to Yaya in that way where it's like you're like friends. Cause like I feel like when dope dancers come here, sometimes they're not like dope people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I know what you mean.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So that's like...
Are you going to say it or...
Nah. But it's like people that are at like maybe Yaya's caliber where they're like super amazing like dancers. Sometimes you forget like when you meet those people in person like that they're just human. Yeah. And that like everybody has their faults and that no one's perfect, and like some people they might be amazing dancers but as people they're not like the best. Maybe they're not best good at socializing, maybe they're just like just rude or whatever it may be. And it's dope that you're able to have that relationship with Yaya.
Yeah, I think that was why I didn't ask her in the first place. Was because I was like trying to figure out And it's the whole people thing. Like, it's like, oh, are you a cool person? Even though you're a dope dancer.
Yeah.
And you project yourself on Instagram and, you know, I was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to get to know the person first before, you know, I can train under you. And
Facts.
I think that's with any leader that you come under. You're just trying to figure out if you can trust that person to, because you're putting your trust in them as a leader and a mentor. And I think that's a skill that I've got from maybe hopscotch days as well, is trying to figure out if that person is genuine and trustworthy. Yeah.
Facts. Have you ever been in a situation where you've met some people that like, or you've had to work with people who aren't that? Or do you just pick your people like?
I think now I'm at a time where I can be selective with where I put my energy or focus on. But before then I was just like, yo, anyone can train me and I'll be all good.
Yeah.
But now it's like I've got a bit more wisdom to be more selective of, you know, who I let in my circle to train me or who I can train myself. And
Okay. Big question.
Yes.
You are a part of Projekt and Lighthouse fams.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you. I asked the same question to Seju, both him and 603.
Oh, right. Yeah.
If you had to pick one crew.
That's the naughty question.
Nah, those ones. If you had to pick one crew. And not this question.
That's naughty.
Okay, so the question I have is Projekt team and Lighthouse fans, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do they both offer you? You know, what are the difference between both of the teams?
Yeah.
And like, how do they like you know, how's it like working with both of us? You know, what does each team offer that the other doesn't? Yeah.
It's just like a selling advertisement, eh?
I don't know. I'm just curious there because I know with like, I've been like maybe in 3 teams.
Right.
Projekt is the last one I've been in like properly, and like so I know exactly what like I've gained from here and what I've learned, and like pros and cons to everything. So I guess.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
No, that's a dope question, and that's a question that a lot of people ask me too.
Oh really?
Yeah. So, I think both crews. The similarities is they value friendship and family and community.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've stayed with them for so long, is because that's part of their vision, as well as dancing and like the dancing aspect and creating work and creative projects. That's awesome. But I think it's always tied to people, and I love helping others and contributing to the dance community. And so, with Projekt team, I've had a long friendship with Millie and Josh, and so that's why I've continued to stay on. But also, it's the friendships that I've made within the crew, and it's just a fun vibe. Like no one can bring a vibe like Projekt. And so I think that's why the friendships is with Projekt and with LH Lighthouse Watchmen's and also the Sabres as well. It's community for them, and so I know they have a strong a strong sense of community in Otara. And so Knowles is real passionate about reaching her community, and so she's done the same thing where she's gotten heaps of people and just we've jumped on board to help that community as well. And I think I've learned artistry from Knowles and the girls, and just the excellence in presenting and producing things. And so I think those are the things that I've learned from each fam and team.
That's dope. That's a good answer. Shout out to Lighthouse fam, shout out to Projekt. Last question for you, bro. Oh, we have 2 questions left. Oh, 3 questions left.
Yo.
So, you're an educator, you're a teacher, you're moving down to Hastings.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Hastings? Okay. Because I know what Josh said Hawke's Bay like heaps of times on the mic. Bro, at Seidah's birthday, Josh was an MC and he was like, so Seidah's going down to Hawke's Bay? I'm like, isn't it Hastings? Wait, are they the same thing?
Hawke's Bay is the region, and then Hastings is like the
Oh, okay.
if you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, sweet. So he wasn't wrong. But Hastings, to be more specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why are you moving down there?
Yeah, so during COVID, I didn't have a job, and so I looked on the internet just for different teaching jobs, and I found Hastings or Karamu High School that wanted a dance teacher to replace their PE teachers that were teaching dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aussie.
Yeah, I know.
No
So
way.
I thought I had to think to myself, was I ready to move and just contribute to that community, and have I done enough in my own like backyard, like in Auckland? And so I felt like I was ready for a change and ready to grow a bit more independent as an artist, but also as a person. Like I've been at home living for a long time, and so yeah, Auckland was never really my home because I was born in Wellington. And so Wellington and Wanganui were kind of the cities that I grew up in. But when we moved up to Auckland, it was more like this is our temporary home kind of thing. And so, yeah, I felt like I did all my training. I met a lot of people. I did a lot of cool stuff. And so I felt like I was ready to move on from there and move to Hastings, where I don't know anyone, to be honest. But I'm looking forward to just being free and just, starting again.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Damn. That's kind of, I don't know. I'd like to say that it'd be different, like, without you here, but the thing is, I feel like whenever people leave, it doesn't feel like, it feels like you can come back at any time and it's just the same, you know? Yeah, that's what's really dope. Okay,
I hope so.
Second to last question.
Yep.
Biggest lesson you've learned in 2020?
Oh.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson would be, I think with my recent work with Karate Kid, the workshops that I'm about to do, I've learnt to promote myself a bit more and the work that I've done already.
Yeah.
And so I think I've learnt to just be able to acknowledge myself and just respect myself as well. And so I think like with people like Mele, who kind of stand back and just like let others have a go at things. I've done the same thing as well, but in a different way. And I feel like when I put myself out there, I get a bit cringy as well. And so,
true.
yeah, I've learned how to...
Like, do you feel cringy or do you feel like the way it's done is cringy?
Both.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I've learned how to just get over myself and just put 100% in something that makes me scared to grow. Yeah.
Dope.
And I think I feel like if I've done the same thing or I feel the same way as before from another project, then I haven't really grown. And so, yeah, I think the main thing I've learned is to always put yourself in scary situations to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've learned. And I think that's what I'm doing with moving away to Hastings, because I know I'm going to grow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm scared but excited.
Dope.
Yeah.
Excited to see you grow, Jay.
Yeah, me too.
Last question is, so this is the time capsule question that we have, and so this is a message that you want to send to Seidah 5 years from now. So 5 years from now, we're gonna look back at this. I want to send you this clip. So like, what do you want to say? Like, what would you like to say to the Seidah 5 years from now? Like, any hopes, any like messages you just want to leave her, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got 10 kids by now.
Oh, oh,
I'm kidding.
Damn, son.
Jokes. I don't know.
Bro, did you go to Hastings and get knocked up?
Nope.
What?
Find a Jake the Musk down there. Jokes. I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing that Yaya has told me, is to be curious. So I hope that I will never stop learning or be a student. Even though my profession is in teaching, I need to always make sure that I'm learning, and I hope I've learnt a lot, in 10 years' time. And I hope I've created a lot of cool stuff during then, and done some events down in Hastings as well.
Yo, that'd be tight.
And also, hopefully I've bought a house.
Yo.
Yeah, that's a goal.
Tight.
Yeah. And I hope I become a better dancer and human. Yeah.
Is there any, like... so is the house going to be at Hastings, or is it going to be in... do you know where it's going to be at, or...?
No, but hopefully Hastings, so that you guys can come and visit me. Have some cool times down there.
Tight.
Yo.
Tight. Sweet.
Yo.
And that is us for today's episode. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you for coming on the show, Seidah. This is the last part for you, so you just plug, where we can find you, any maybe projects you have coming up that we should look out for. And yeah, this is your last time to just say what's up.
Yo, thanks. Honestly, thanks Andy for having me on this What's the Dillies. I just want to say that I was in the car when Andy said What's the Dillies. So
are you?
Yes.
Oh,
remember we were in Hastings? It was Hastings, right?
No, it was
Battle of the Bay.
Was it a Bay of Plenty?
No, Battle of the Bay.
Yeah.
When you guys came first.
Yeah.
I was one of the judges, you egg.
Were you?
I remember me and Ken were in the car, and then John was like, what are we having for dinner? And then you were like, what's the Dillies? And then
you were in the car.
So
not many people remember that story. Yeah.
Wait, I was there.
Damn.
And I should have been the first interview, but that's all good.
Yo.
Thank you Andy for having me on this platform. It's dope to actually reflect and look back at what's happened and how we've met as well, and it's good to see you do your own thing as well with What's the Dillies. I think the next thing that I'm doing is the Karate Kid dance workshops, which will be held this month in January. And it's just like my last hurrah before I move down to Hastings or Hawke's Bay. Come. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram if you don't see me before I go. Or you can come to Hastings and I'll look after you. Yo.
Just a full house, just everybody's just coming down.
Yo, come, we can go to Splash Planet. Splash Planet?
Bro, I saw that me and Tommy were sitting together.
Yeah.
And we were searching Hastings, right? Because we knew you were moving down.
Yeah.
Because he told me he was working with you this month as well.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
Like, yeah, sweet. And then we saw that there's a Splash Planet there. It looks mean.
Wait, it's opposite my school that I work at.
Wow.
So you guys have to come down.
Have you seen what it looks like?
No.
It actually looks mean.
Hey.
It looks tight.
Is it like a mini Wairera kind of?
It looks like Wairera done right.
Ooh.
Like, because Wairera is kind of like eh.
Yeah.
But like Splash Planet actually looks tight.
Oh, sick.
Yo.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but I haven't really delved into it that much. But yo, come. It's opposite my work, my new school.
That's us. Let's do it.
Yo, let's go. Roadies on
2021. Yeah,
oh,
Jinx.
Biggie Smallies. Oh.
Yo. See, thanks for joining us this episode, guys, and we'll see you next time. Sweet. Peace.